Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Let's get the mics on. This is Jimmy Hills, host of Java with Jimmy, Java After Dark. You see, we have a whole different setup this evening, and anybody that watches and knows know that it was interesting trying to get it together. But shout out to Exit Fame himself. Real Boston Media is in the room as well. He helped out a little bit, but I thought he would catch that. No, you can lie. You good? No. Trying to be all quiet, but listen, a Java After Dark, a lot of people have been asking about it, and I'll be honest, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this tonight, this brother has a project coming out. Two is when he was with us before, he hustled so hard. He was at work, outside. Yeah. You were outside. Nah,
Is my mic on?
Your mic, there it goes.
All right, yeah, there we go.
See, stop it. Y'all should see Real over there. He is really like falling out laughing at me. This ain't right. But I wanted to do it in the evening so you can come, you can chill, and really, we're going to talk for about 45 minutes or so. So introduce for the people, we got a little following, a little bit of folks in New York, Philly, but I mean, you're all over the place. So for those that don't know who you are, please introduce yourself. And I haven't done this in a while with the guests. Describe where your career is right now in one word.
Direction.
You were supposed to introduce yourself.
Oh, you told me one word. You just
no. I'm
like
messing with you.
Okay.
You do direction. See, this is going to be deep. This is going to be good.
Nah. You asked me to define my career where it is, but before I do that, it is only right to talk to people and let them know who I am. What's going on, y'all? Boston, all the other states that's watching this, whoever's watching, we appreciate you. My name is Exit Fame. I'm an artist out of Massachusetts, Boston, and I'm a person in long time sobriety. I'm a child of God. I am I'm a lot of things, but right now I'm just with you, man.
And you're a dad.
Yep, I'm a dad.
And you're a dad.
Yep.
And you're a girl dad. You have a son too?
I got 2 girls, 1 boy.
Okay. So you got them both. So I just want to say, if Tina is watching, I definitely have to shout out Brendan's sister, who I've known for many years. I cannot have you here and not shout her out. But I want to ask you, you mentioned about your sobriety. You're very public about that. And you mentioned that you're a child of God. Now I'm going to be real with you all. Me getting this stuff together, it wasn't doing right. And I was in here cussing and he was cool and, saying, don't worry about it or whatever. But I got to be honest with you, the way, and this might get me in trouble with some folks, the way you represent yourself, I had that regard to not, that's all, seriously. Am I lying? Wasn't I, wasn't I like bugging, like, oops, I messed up, and then things started messing up, and then a few of them slipped out. But I have to give you that respect because you're authentic, and you're real, and so tell us a little bit about your story and who you are, and then we're going to get into your project that's getting ready to come out, things that you're doing. You got a clothing line. You just do. Are you still full-time working?
Yeah,
you are. Yeah.
The job. I'm still working, and it's coming together. God's bringing me to a different place with some new opportunities, and we can talk about that too.
Okay,
that would be major for my life, and I'll put that out there on this show.
All right, we're getting a couple of firsts. We're going to drop a track that hasn't been made public yet at the end, just to make sure Facebook don't do anything shady. All right, so tell us about the journey. Who are you?
So basically, I'm just a kid, Roxbury, Dorchester, born, grew up right there on Fayston Street off Blue Hill Ave, man. Grew up in Morningstar Baptist Church. Even when I describe my upbringing, so I can paint a picture, you know what I mean, the artistic way, so a person can understand what I'm saying without being long-winded. I like to use the example that I grew up as a kid and I went to Disney World before. I at Christmas, you know what I mean? I had the type of parents where we put cookies and milk out for Santa, and you know what I mean, even though the area we lived in. I grew up when Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays like that, like I have a strong family, like we get together with meals like you would see on the old movie Soul Food. For the new generation, they probably ain't even seen Soul Food, but
or what sitting down to dinner is, to be 100.
They don't do that no more.
It's not done. I was telling somebody, I said last week or earlier this week at 5 o'clock, my grandmother and grandfather, no matter what you were doing, you were at the dinner table at 5 o'clock. It was without question.
I missed that era. I skipped that era. I didn't have to, huh?
How old are you?
38. So I skipped that.
Oh God.
We didn't have to. I didn't have to eat at the dinner table. But
oh no, we at the dinner table at 5 o'clock. The table we set the table.
But if my mother was here, she would have some stories for you.
About,
about all that kind of stuff as her upbringing. So I did hear about it.
So you're wait a minute. You just put me in your mother's age bracket, and you just said 38. You did, low key. You did, low key. You did. All right. So grew up on Fayston and had what we would call sort of a Cosby type family. Maybe we can say that for this generation. A familiar Cosby type family. And so you brought that up and said that why?
Because in these areas in Roxbury, Jamaica Plain, Mattapan, Dorchester, South End, where we grew up at, a lot of people, where I came to find out that I'm almost like a minority with the minorities. That's not something that everybody has. You know what I mean? Not everybody grew up in homes like that. Not everybody grew up with traditions like that are followed and that are followed through for years and passed on to different generations in our family. So that's why I say that. And I don't know too many kids, like being in school, I didn't know too many kids that went to Disney World before. I didn't even understand. Like I
was promising my grandparents, they didn't make it happen.
It's like I'm just you know what I mean? I'm just some what's the word for entitled child that thinks like, we're going to Disney World. But as I got older, it's like, wow, you never been to Disney World? It's like, oh, let me shut up.
So for you, there was some things for you that was a norm. In growing up.
But and that's through the grace of God and my mom making it happen. Our family making it happen.
And so how old were you when you went to Disney World? And then depending on what that age is, let's talk about your years as a teen. Because growing up, depending if your teen years was on Fayston, I'm giving you 14-year age difference. At 14, 24 years ago, if I'm right, it was an interesting time. And so were you as a teen, were you on Fayston?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that?
I got a perfect example. There was a choice.
Okay.
There was a choice. And what I mean by that, that's very vague. You can go this way, the right way, or you can go the wrong way. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, since you're from here, this is how you gotta be. Because I got a nephew and we're 6 months apart.
Okay.
So this is more like my brother. He grew up in the same house, same place, same address, and his results are totally different than mine.
It's interesting that you say that, because one of the topics that come up often in the Java Cafe is with young people, this thing of violence, the young people acting up at South Bay, what's going on in Brockton with them thinking about bringing the National Guard in. And there's always this conversation of it starts at home. And then there's a lot of presumption. And I've had to correct myself and say single parent family homes, that's a product of coming from a single mother home. You're bringing up a point that people like Thaddeus and whatnot often make on the show is you grew up in a 2-family home, had the Disney World, and had the milk and cookies for Santa. Thank you for saying that it was a choice. It circumstances would you agree circumstances influence your choice? But you're speaking to a point that we talk about often, that despite what parents may be doing, young people get to a point where they make choices for themselves.
It's it goes to traumas. Your choices, the choices there, but for whatever length of time you've been alive for up to that point, your traumas affect the way you make choices.
Yep.
Your needs, your wants, the way you view the world. You know what I mean? And it's like so I'll use me as an example.
Yep.
My brother died at an early age. I was 5, he was 1. Yeah, I had my niece and my nephews upstairs. I had that, you know what I mean? But that was upstairs. But in my household downstairs, most of the time I found myself alone.
Okay.
Kind of like it was like the need to always want attention, not understanding, even at the age of 5 years old, not even understanding processing death, you know what I mean, or nothing like that. So you just kind of you're just going through this thing, and something that you're probably used to, because I remember certain things from that age, but I don't remember everything. But I can only imagine it's like I've had my arm for 5 years and then it's not there anymore.
Yep.
In the beginning, it hurts, it sucks. But as time goes on, I learned to live with it. But that is still a trauma. That is still a trauma. You know what I mean? I want my arm.
Yep. You remember being a big brother. You may not remember a lot, but you remember you had a little brother.
Right.
And being a big brother. And so that is enough. And again, you're speaking to a lot of stuff that we talk about often. Trauma, it can hide.
Woo.
You know what I'm saying? At 5 years old, as you said, you begin to cope without the arm. But then, for example, it may be kind of corny example, you're 14 getting ready to play basketball and you need that arm. And it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How did the trauma how did that situation or other traumas begin to demonstrate itself in your teens?
I didn't even know it, but just being honest, and I put that out there. I longed for a brotherhood or a friendship or that type of companionship, where it was like my choices decided almost off of my traumas, just unconsciously.
Yep.
I was a follower.
Okay.
I'm a people pleaser now.
Okay.
I want to do things to make you like me because I want you around me. I need your validation, almost as if the definition of codependency.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like all my behaviors are dictated off of that now. So when I go, when family comes to the house, I'm putting on a little show in the kitchen.
You're getting the attention. Yeah.
When I go to school, I'm the class clown.
Okay.
When I go to the neighborhood, this is what you guys are doing. So I need to do this.
Okay.
To make you guys like me. And that's I don't want to say the trap that I fell in, but that was the choice. Back to the word choice.
Okay.
That was the choice I made.
And so leading up, and you talk about your sobriety. So obviously there was something to be sober from in those teenage years, presumably either teen years or whatever. And then we'll, move on from this and talk about, your transition to this wonderful artist that you are. From where you are comfortable and want to share with that as a part of your story and testimony, because for folks that in the Java Cafe, they're encountering you for the first time, I think they need to know in a few minutes why you are who you are, you spit the way you spit, and you roll the way you roll. I think they got a little bit of enough context now, but you have a lot of impact in a lot of areas with people that are dealing with substance use, with Black men, probably other artists up and coming. There's probably somebody home with a notebook that watches your Facebook and whatnot, like, yo, if he can do it, I can do it too. So if you don't mind, where you're comfortable, share just some of that part of your testimony as well.
Yeah, I'm an open book, man. I've never been this alive I'll be 5 years sober, God willing, August 3rd, 2024. That's coming up. So that means that this last 4 years of my life, 38 years old, I've never been more alive, more in tune, more aware, making mistakes that don't cost my life or my freedom. But I make mistakes, but where I'm actually looking at it and taking accountability and responsibility. So 4 years where I'm just learning of life and how to be an adult and be a man. And I don't say I got an A on that report card, but I'm studying, I'm working, you know what I mean? But what's that, 34? So let's talk about 34 years before we got to there. So 34 years of a childhood, as I explained, a lot of codependency issues, being a follower, and cliche product of my environment, a lot of sneaking out the window, a lot of back to the word choice, a lot of bad choices due to, you know what I mean, my own issues that probably need a psychologist or whatever to work with. But yeah, so a lot of bad choices in that neighborhood, Roxbury and Dorchester, that brought me to handcuffs on my wrist at the age of 12. I don't want to gas it. Age of 12 or 13. Well, they didn't put cuffs on me when the first time I stole from Toys R Us, when there was a Toys R Us in South Bay. Yeah. Sorry, Darius. That Tina's son, Dari, he was with me. I stole a toy. But in school, the suspensions, the expulsions, and all of the stuff, you know what I mean? Most kids play house, kids play doctor. I wanted to play gangster. I wanted to play that. And maybe I was a good actor. I found myself in a lot of situations. I was in DYS. This is factual. Definitely 14 and a half, 15, my first case down at Cambridge. And then the show just rolled on. I found myself in jail for a long period of time at the age of 16. Being in these situations, I've participated in robberies. I participated in street violence, drive-bys. I've seen friends die right next to me at this age. And ultimately, I ended up doing the same and shooting, victimizing people, and finding myself just like that, you know what I mean, held on $1 million bail all over the news. And 16 years old, you know, my life is gone for a while. And they got this thing about incarceration. They say the average man, the age that you go into jail, it's like life. I don't want to say life pauses, because back to the word choice, you have choice to evolve yourself. You have choices to learn yourself.
Incarcerated. Yep.
But I wasn't on that time. I still got all the issues I got.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I'm looking at this situation as a playground. You know, I'm in there just being an idiot. So
was it even more gangster for you?
It was more. I didn't have a hard time in jail. I'm not gonna. You know, I didn't have a hard time. I'm a chameleon. I can adapt in a lot of environments.
Yes, sir.
And that comes from that childhood behavior, from that people pleaser stuff, that being a follower. You could put me in a lot of different environments and I belong. You know what I mean?
I'm not trying to have a whole session, but we can stay on the whole mental health route. But go ahead. Listen.
Yeah, I mean, these are just revelations of myself that I've learned in the last 4 years of my life. But
so $16 million bail?
I'm in there. When they first made the youthful offender law with that guy, Eddie O'Brien, that did that crazy stuff, I was a part of the group of the first youthful offenders going upstate, where you can be tried as an adult under the age of 18 because of severe crimes. And I was into that, man. I didn't come home until about, I wish my mother was here. I don't think I came home until about 20. The first time. And then I was violated. It was a roller coaster ride. It was in and out, in and out, in and out. By that time, I'm just in the streets now. I'm doing everything that the streets do. So many things to go through, you know, but I found myself incarcerated a lot. At this moment in my life, I haven't picked up a charge since 2017. I haven't been in jail or nothing like that since 2017. But my last census when I left, 17 years and 3 months of my life have been incarcerated. Not all at once, increments,
but
pieces.
total. But that's just if you add it up, that's half.
So we go back to the thing I'm telling you is the phrase cliche arrested development. The age that you go in at is the when you get out, you know what I mean? Like the example, you see the OG come home and it's 2024 and he's wearing an Adidas sweatsuit and you know, like he's still thinking it's
back in the day.
My mind's still on where I left.
Okay.
You know,
I need to ask you, and this
I hope that made sense.
It made a whole lot of sense. And like I said, we got brothers like Carlos Enriquez on that moves in the mental health space. None the Wiser podcast is on. They talk about a whole bunch of different things. It does make sense. And you talk about cliches. I don't want this to be a cliche type question. In 2000, what snapped, what happened in 2017 that you have been on this straight and narrow road, or last 4 years, because you've been, saying sober for the last 4 years? What in 17 happened? And then 4 years ago, what happened that you're like, yo, this is it. I'm doing this. What is it?
Very, very, I know the exact answer to that, and this is crazy. And when I say this, I'm not encouraging people to do this, but using drugs saved my life.
Now I said we meant to. Come on, give the context for that. So
the severity of the crimes that I was committing before I started getting high.
Yep.
These come with 10-year, 25 life sentences, the things that I was doing. Mm-hmm. When you're getting high, the game changes. The things you do, the way you live, the choices you make change.
Choices.
It's not about, it's still about a feeling. It's about filling a void or whatever, but now it's about immediate gratification. I found something to make me feel whole, or I think.
Yep.
So now my world revolves around holding on to that feeling. So I do anything I can to hold on to that feeling.
Yes, sir.
See, it's a dangerous game when you're a people pleaser and a follower. I might have to shoot somebody to prove myself. With this, I might just have to go steal some money from my mother's purse. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's levels.
Okay.
It's levels of both negative. But when I say drugs saved my life, I wasn't worried about which street somebody was from anymore. Even if you was my people even if you was from what we say the ops, if you were the ops, but you had what I wanted, listen, we can talk right now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
so I get the context of it now. Drugs saved my life. Had you not been wind up getting high, as you say, getting addicted or whatever, you would have continued on the path of more gangster and victimization,
serious crime, serious, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, I would have. So I go from selling drugs, large quantities, trying to traffic, trying to be a pimp, all the types of kind of stuff that comes with. I got friends and everybody that are doing double-digit sentences from doing the exact things that I was doing. I went from that to going and stopping shop and just throwing groceries in a carriage and walking out with it. This is different levels in court. Okay. Supreme Court. This is, you know what I mean? So so when they look at this is what happened. This is a true story. I asked my mother. This happened to me. Very embarrassing moment. You're in the courtroom and I got a record. My Corey's ugly. And you go in there and there's all this serious stuff on your Corey. And then larceny under 250. The judge looks at your record and he looks at you and he goes, so this is drugs, right?
He immediately knows.
You know what I mean? This is drugs, right? Yep. You know what I mean? And everybody just giggles in the courtroom and I'm like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, so when I say drugs saved my life, because it put me on a different path.
Yes.
I was no longer out here trying to take someone's life. I was no longer out here risking a federal sentence. I was doing larceny under 250.
Under 250.
You know?
And so when did that change? And the 4 years when you say you've been sober, going, and it will be 5 in August.
Yes,
it will be. What flipped that? What flipped the script on that?
I mean, it's nothing but God. When you meet rock bottom, doing things like sniffing dope, smoking crack. Oh man, you know what I mean? It's very funny. You hear somebody say, my life sucks, or I'm going through a bad day. And even when I'm going through a bad day, losing a job or something, I really think back to those bad days. Yes, and anybody who's lived that life where your existence depends on a substance, and you've been in a situation where you don't have any money, in the choice, back to choice, in the choices that you make, because it's all about filling a void that you make because I can't live with myself. And I'm not trying to deal with me.
Yep.
So it's either deal with me or go break in this house and sell this TV, or do whatever it is that addicts do to get the next one. You know what I mean? So I found myself in those situations, but you get tired, man. You know what I mean? Anybody that you see on Blue Hill Lab or Mass Ave begging for change, anybody you've seen like that, that is the result. It didn't start like that.
Yes, sir.
I'm tired. It's like the only strength that I have left is to hold this cup up and ask for change now. You know, and I remember a guy said, that man's not begging for change, he's really begging for change, you know. Stuff like that.
Okay. My shoulder, I just got stuck.
But that's from being addict. I did it.
Yo, it hit both of us at the same time. Reel's over there. Ooh. I want to, be respectful of time. And I have to ask you this for when. Okay, I don't know how to ask this. You got me, but shut up. Does your story inform the name of Exit Fame? And then when the other way I wanted to ask it was Exit Fame part of your persona 4 years ago or 4.5 years ago?
It began 4 years ago. Exit Fame began 4 years ago. It began in a halfway house, right? Right in Roxbury at the in the Demic Treatment Center.
Okay.
That's where it began.
You got to tell us. I know people ask you this all the time. But
how it began?
The Exit. Why the name? Because I'm listening to your story. We grew up in church. I'm saying testimony. I'm listening to your story and your journey. Testimony. I'm listening to your story, journey, testimony, however you want to frame it. And I'm presuming the exit, and you're going, and maybe not seeking fame, but exiting out of everything that you talked about, and now, becoming famous. Fame is maybe a far stretch, because knowing you're not doing it for the gram, chasing clout and all that other stuff. There's some now we both understand there's some benefit to the gram. But so Exit Fame, how, why, when?
So I would I keep it real. I've gotten caught up in the social media aspect of things, but I'm gonna answer your question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I've been guilty of doing it for the gram. I have to be real. You know what I mean? I gotta be real.
And if the church say, Amen.
Right.
Look at it.
I've been guilty of that.
I should have gave you a mic tonight to just be over there laughing.
But the name Exit Fame, it comes starting in 2019. I'm like 60 days sober. I think maybe 68, something like that. I'm in that bracket, and I don't know which way I'm gonna go. One thing about Eric, Exit Fame, that's who I am. Music is something that has always filled that void for me. Before being a follower, before being a street gangbanger, before being a hustler, before being a drug addict, music was my vice. Music it's just something that was always in me. When you get sober and you're in these programs, anybody that's been through this, whatever your passions were, whatever the things that you like start coming back to you. You get a cell phone back. You know what I mean? You start looking at social media, because none of these things matter when you're getting high.
Yes, sir.
Social media, clothes, baths, all that. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yes, sir.
But as you're getting sober, these things come back to you. And one thing that always came back to me when I was either in that cell, that detox, or that halfway house was the pen and the pad. The music, the lyrics. It's always been an outlet for me. Anybody that knows me knows that. And immediately I start writing again. And I'm turning on, I'm going to social media, and you know what I mean? Before Exit Fame, before you know what I mean, the messing up, I was an artist named Fame Flint. You know what I mean?
I think when we talk, that doesn't sound totally unfamiliar.
No, yeah, I mean, you can
beforehand.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I did it, you know what I mean? In New York, LA, you know what I mean? Miami, blah, 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 you know what I mean? I was doing all of that stuff, but it was under before I started using hard drugs and before my father died. I was just, this different person that hurt a lot of people. But anyhow, there was Fame Flint. I built something in Boston. Me and my guy Winter. We had
I'm getting ready to say the whole government. Winter, light skin Winter.
Nah, his name Winter, okay. Like Winter.
Winter.
Okay, Winter. Yeah. Winter. Okay. But we had something going, man. The team, man. We had this thing going out here in Boston, and anyway, what starts in destruction ends in destruction. That's how that concluded. But fast forward back to that situation, Exit Fame being born, it was like, I'm gonna do this thing again, man. It's like hip hop is a culture of being a drug addict is not cool. The things that I did while being a drug addict are not acceptable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like these are things that are frowned upon. So how do you gonna
can we clarify, because we're old, in real hip hop culture?
Yeah,
those are not tenets of the hip hop faith, or whatever you want to call it. Some of this stuff I hear now is, and I'm not going to get in trouble, but Scissor and the first day I heard got during Percocet, bruh, like, so some of this stuff, but again, when we say hip hop, we're talking real hip hop.
Yeah, we're talking yeah, I get it.
If you have some commentary pushback there, tell me.
I don't, you know what I mean? I don't diss or overlook the new generation with hip hop.
Yep.
Hip hop is something that has always evolved. I met some amazing young artists out here, man, that are not even on that time. It's whatever space you're in, whatever voids you're filling, whatever traumas you're dealing with, whatever you're expressing, that's coming out at that time. And if lean or Percocet or Coke or Molly or whatever you're on is your crutch, it's like they're just expressing what they're going through in the way that is acceptable, but it's acceptable and it's praise. So
thank you. I got
you get what I'm saying? So I don't knock what they doing. I don't knock what they doing.
Yes, sir.
I don't knock what they doing. But for me, being in that halfway house, see, I come from that authenticity, what we call authentic hip hop, where it's like everything that I rap about, I have to have done this before.
Okay.
There's no lies. I can't lie in my music. Mm-hmm. So how do I come back into a game where being a drug dealer, being a gangster, or being a drug addict now, or, the pimps, the hoes, all this kind of stuff, if this is what's going on and this is what's selling, this is what's popular, how do you go against that? So for me, you know what I mean? I was just challenging myself because I always knew real music, but I just knew the things that I was doing, like crack was forbidden.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if you ever think about it, even DMX, I'm like, show me a record where he admitted that he did that on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not there. It wasn't something that we just, like, it was out in the open, but I come from a place where it was like, I always think I'm so important that people are thinking about me. So everywhere I went, they're like, oh, that boy smoked crack before. He did this. They probably wasn't even thinking about me. I ain't that important. But how do I embrace this? And I'm in that program, man. I'm raw, I'm vulnerable, I'm feeling feelings and stuff like that. And one day, Eminem's 8 Mile was on. They was watching it in the group room. and you're watching this man use all of his weaknesses to battle these other guys. And I had a God shot watching that. I was like, you're gonna have to put it all out there, bro. And I was listening to stuff like Exaltacion. Like I tap into the younger generation a lot because I want to see where this is going, where hip hop is going. I never want to be that old timer that I'm just stuck in my way. You know what I mean? Like
why you look at me when he said, I knew you was gonna look over here when he said that. Go ahead.
Nah, but you got to evolve with it. It's evolve or die. And so anyhow, long story short, putting myself back out there, it was like, see, we do it for the we why are you doing this for? You want everything that you see on your phone, you want everything that you see on your TV, the fame, the glory, like you want that. You know what I mean? I grew up wanting to be validated. I grew up as a follower, so that fame, it was only so right that that name came from my neighborhood. That's, you know what I mean? I've had it before everything. But in that program, I'm learning about stuff like the 12 steps. I'm learning about recovery. I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about my weaknesses. And the X, what it means, what like DMX, when you look at Exaltacion, what that X means, even to Malcolm X, what these things mean. The ex-girlfriend is the past. For me, if I was Fame Flint, I have to be the opposite of that now, but I still have to show these people I'm still as a serious MC. And I'm still up there with all of them. How did I do that? In that name, it was like, I think I seen an exit sign or something like that. And it was like, exit fame. And it was like, I just got to be Eric. I just have to be me. And it was like, I exit me to enter myself. So I'm exiting fame because my nickname's Fame. If that makes sense, I'm talking a lot.
No. When I look away and look at somebody, it's like, like, it's like, okay, it makes sense.
So it's just a constant reminder to me to be myself, and I struggle with that still to this day. Traumas. You know what I mean?
This we're gonna have to have a part 2 with you because you're tapping into the mental health piece, you're tapping into being vulnerable, you're tapping into substance use piece. Your boy Mathematics is in the building as well. Can you okay, I just saw a number change, so can you just check and make sure that the stuff is right on Facebook? I just looked. Also, the Celtics are playing tonight, right? That might have an influence because we were doing good and all. Anyway, I'm looking at the numbers. Hey, we being real, we being authentic. So there's so much that you can speak to, and you've been speaking to in the form of your records. You are about to release your 3rd or 4th.
Nah,
your total
under Exit Fame. This would be my 9th project under Exit Fame.
I'm talking about multiple tracks. This is your 9th
project. Yeah.
Well, where have
I thought
I've been no. What I'm saying
like
is
3 projects that's only on YouTube. That's never.
Oh, okay. So don't make me feel like I didn't know.
Nah, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Because I'm like, you know,
and rest in peace, Ung Danes. This is his fault because I always told him that we needed to get on all platforms, and he was like, "Ain't nobody." Danger's old. Ain't nobody listening to that. I was looking at him like, so I'm making these wonderful I got like 3 projects that are just on YouTube that never hosted by Chubby. We never. He's crazy, bro.
Okay. All right, because I'm like, wait a minute, 9. I'm like, I may be a couple off, but like I try to keep up and I see what you're doing.
Yeah, so it looks like 6. May God be with you 1, may God be with you 2, may God be with you 2 deluxe, may God be with you 3, may God be with you 3 deluxe, and then may God be with you 4. That's what you see.
This is what's getting ready to come out.
No, Exit Hell is the next one.
God, okay.
Exit Hell March 1st.
Exit Hell March 1st. You're going to hear a track shortly in a few minutes from that.
We're going to drop. We're going to leak it.
There was a couple of other things you said you were going to drop, but I want to go back to a couple of things you said 2 minutes ago about Exit Hell and the projects. Oh, so technically this is your 9th project.
9th project under Exit Fame on. Yeah.
Okay. You know, 9's like the number of birth. 9
I
months.
hope so.
9 months.
Yeah.
You know, what can we expect from you with this project getting ready to come up? What are you getting ready? Because everybody's talking about 2024. I'm believing it. 2024 is going to be like this epic year. I mean, the way it's starting off is crazy. What are you getting ready to birth after this Exit Hell? And then I got to hear about why you chose Exit Hell.
All right. So Exit Hell, 11 tracks done with me and Mel Go Hard. It's got some nice features on there. Exit Hell, if I had to describe it, May God Be With You, the series of May God Be With You was more. I have a I have a lot of pain. I have a whatever you want to say, sad story. It was always on these songs or on these projects where it was like the violins playing, like the sad story, like what could I have been through. I I listen to feedback.
Okay.
I'm very I try to stay in touch with everybody that's talking about things. And I listen to what people that listen to my music say. And it's like hip hop, you know what I mean? The bars, concepts, you know what I mean? Like you listen to like, so my age bracket, like Killer Mike winning the Grammy, and you listen to a project like that, and it's so cohesive and it's transparent, but at the same time, it's blended with this sound of today. It's like, I can't describe it, but it's like when I say Exit Hell, it's like it's me. It's a lot more concepts, but I feel like a different level as an artist. Like I didn't just give you the sad story. I gave you concept. We had fun with this thing. I kept it real with the bars. Like that's my thing. That's my go-to. But I gave you a little more stories, and I just didn't beat your head in with the sad story. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you're saying you evolved you're evolving ing as an artist, and you listen to that feedback
Yeah.
from others that are listening to the music. I got to ask you a question. As an artist, how do you measure in the feedback? Is personal. How do you measure in the feedback based on being set in your ways of who you are as Eric?
Well, I got like 34 years of my way sucks. So I'm aware of that
Okay,
now.
fine. I mean,
No, so I'm aware of that now. So when I start thinking I know what I'm doing, when I start thinking like I got this, when I start like when I get into that zone where this and that, it's like my breaks, I tap in.
Okay.
Or even if I had a conversation with somebody and it didn't go the way that it should have, I'm in a state of mind now where I take accountability and I can go back and admit my wrongs and try to understand myself from a different person's perspective.
Yeah.
And it's just looking at life through a different lens, looking at life through a different point of view. That's where I'm at now.
It we're just a few over time. I there's this real proven philosophy that something happens when you turn 40. I say that depending on your maturity level, it starts at 38. It can, if you're mature, it can start up to 38 and a half, kind of a little bit. I'm not most if your maturity is delayed, let me frame it like that before I get in trouble. If your maturity is delayed, might be 41 and a half. Something happens at 40. I'm bringing this up because I want to see you at 40. At 38, ask everybody, and it happens at 52 even better. But I'm waiting to see you at 40. That this evolving, and this seems like lack of. You ever see somebody? You hear this term jailhouse religion and stuff like that, and it's hype,
Right.
and it's not sustained. And for whatever reasons, I love one that you, and I know this wasn't your intent, but I'm just going to use the term. I appreciate the check back on my oldness, and I mean, I still believe what I believe about them promoting that stuff, but I appreciate shut up. I appreciate the balance of I appreciate the context that you understand in which brothers are sharing. That's always really been the essence of hip hop. And just for them, they're being honest. And I guess you got to go back and dig to why they scissorping and why they taking the Percocet or whatever. So I appreciate that. The other thing I appreciate is the authenticity, that nobody has to wonder what you're thinking, and that you're just like real,
Right.
and just like I've been following I was going to say, is it career? Yeah, the journey, the career. I've been following your career, man, and it's dope. It's dope. You represent Boston very well.
All right.
Seriously.
No, I mean, when you're on the inside of this thing, man, it's like
you ain't got to tell me.
It's like for me, it just seemed like it's not happening. You struggling financially, like you just, and it's like,
all right, thank you for joining us tonight. Everything has been said that needed to be said. No, man, listen,
you going through it, man, and it's like, and then you get caught up in the stuff, and it's like, and then you know what I mean? It's like it's hard when you pick up your phone. You know what I mean? And then you're on social media. It's hard not to compare where you are to someone else that looks like they're winning. It can depress you. Like, you know what I mean? I'm doing this thing. I'm spilling my heart. I'm sharing my soul out there. And then it's like, they don't like it.
Yeah.
Who is they? I don't know. But it's a they. And it's like, I want them to like me. You know what I mean?
I know who some of my days is.
You know?
But so it's interesting because we're kind of slated. I knew it
was going to happen. Right. I knew it. You get moving.
I knew it was going to happen, but I thought it was going to be you.
Nah, I've been really self-conscious, aware. I've been like, don't do that.
We can't get it.
It's all good.
We were in there's a group chat going on. Shout out to Diaspora Mass, where the brothers bringing together a lot of people that are influencers. We're kind of slated to go to an influencer event tonight. And I've been telling people that since being in this space, I got a different appreciation for likes and shares. Remember years ago, people putting too much investment in social media. No, for folks like us, likes and shares is it. I put a different value on it. The other piece is we just need this space to be able to be real and transparent like that and not be judged. Because sometimes I think if the uninformed, the unexperienced ear hears, because I share some of the same things, I see some things and whatnot, and I'm like, that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? So one, thank you for your vulnerability in naming that. Real and I have talked about some stuff, but it goes to another point of view being authentic, because a lot of people won't admit that they look and they see, and not just on social media, just anybody that's in a creative space, the way that you are, the way that I am, it's not 9 to 5. It's not a hobby. It's like a real passion. We don't just do this. And it certainly, money helps, but it definitely ain't the money, So I just wanted to some extent, give you flowers, affirm.
I was listening to, I had an emotional moment almost today listening to J. Cole's Love Yours. And when you listen to that last verse, and he was like, there's always going to be there's always going to be something better. And, God's just checking me to appreciate what I have, man.
What you have in the moment.
And, when you live like that, it's always good to achieve for more. It's always good. But what I realized is, have a goal, have a reason to what you're doing. Mm-hmm. If your reasons are only to benefit you, you will find yourself in a lot of depression and anxiety. When the dude mathematics says to me, man, you know what I mean? It's focus on the journey, not something like enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? Like the process. I might have butchered his statement, but it's something like that. It's like enjoy the process of this and not the outcome. And we're always worried about the outcome. And it just comes from a deep down, not a deep down, it's probably right there inside of us. It's like, I just want to be validated. Most of the people, I would probably say 75% of the world, you know what I mean? And that goes back to the beginning of this conversation, how I grew up. You know what I mean? Like where I came from, what was cool, what was not. My daughter struggles now with that. I'm having conversations with her and I'm looking, it's like, you're talking to yourself. She's dealing with what you're dealing with, just in a different way. So it's like we are put in these positions to break generational curses. We're put in these positions, but also to have fun while you're doing it.
Yeah.
You can almost lose the fun. And once you lose the fun, that is the beginning of the end. So with Exit Hell, it was kind of like I wanted to have fun making this thing because I want to have fun making the music again. If there's no fun in what you're doing, and it's all business and it's all about benefiting you, I don't know. The odds are against you.
what you call that? When I start stuttering and I feel my face getting ready to get hot, that means I'm about to blush. That you tapping into some stuff.
It's just
I'm gonna
real,
go ahead.
man.
It's real, but there's ways that real challenges and pushes me. I'm gonna have to use a term that we're used to using. You ministered to me tonight in a couple of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, because you
I'm just talking about my
nah,
struggle.
but there are some things, especially when you talk like there are some things I think that creatives do go through, and in their small circles they talk about it, but we don't, as a collective, we don't talk about the challenges. We don't talk about, I said a few minutes ago about, I'm looking at the numbers because I didn't sat up here, and I'll admit it now to folks that are on Facebook. I forgot to click the little thing on Vimeo to kick it out to all the other folks, like the website, Twitter, and all that. I think is out there. I don't know. And so not a lot of people will understand that had I clicked that, they don't understand the value that I put on me missing a click versus, like, for in your example, you think you done mix down your whole 11 track project, get ready to send it out, and the producer hits you and says, we forgot the bass line on every track. Yeah, yo, see the trauma? Like,
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, you didn't, bro, look at you. What would you go through? Look, you're
Right.
freaking out just thinking about it.
Right.
Like,
and
so
that's where, and honestly, and that serenity prayer and understanding, yo, sometimes, yo, I just lost a job recently, man. You know what I mean? And it's like taking accountability and going through what you're going through. But when I look at the stuff that I've been through, my track record against adversity, it's like I'm gonna be all right. But it's like maybe it's age or whatever it is, or just experience. It's like I've been in situations where I wanted this to happen just this way.
Yeah.
And then these things didn't happen. And then maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 months later, it all came together. And it was like, damn, God do got a plan. And it's like, you see these little quotes, you know what I mean? It's like trust God's way, you know what I mean? God's plan. And it's like, it's almost like, you know what I mean? When you're at a funeral and someone dies in your life and someone comes up to you and like, they're in a better place. I don't want to hear that, but it's real.
It is real, but
and it's the same thing when I'm in these things and I go through disappointments, because in this journey of being a creative, you will have more disappointments than celebrations. So when the disappointments come, it's like, in the back of my mind, God, I got a plan. You know what I mean? It's like, God,
no,
damn,
my favorite
I'd
one.
be like, why can't his plan just be for me to win right now? You know, I deal with that.
My favorite one is, it isn't usually God got a plan. It's usually when it's demonstrated. And after I done kick, cried, cussed, and fussed and whatnot. And then when the check comes through, or bro, there's been some times where a check comes through on the first. You know what I'm saying? Having rent paid and whatnot. And I'm walking around the house. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Right. Mine's isn't God got a plan. Mine's is like, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
You got me. You did it. Man, listen, we he knows it when I'm stuttering. I'm still stuttering. This was really good. It went a whole different way than what I expected, but I believe it was meant to go that way because
I'm sorry if I didn't go on the agenda.
No. I mean, more, I just in certain spaces and stuff, I actually don't have an agenda. I wanted to promote the project. We're going to play that. Tell people they can get it on all platforms on March 1st.
Merchandise, the book, and everything coming.
On what's your website?
Right now is We Making Movies, baby, but it's not. There's no. It's everything's under construction right now.
So everything's going to drop on the 1st.
Yeah, everything is coming out. Yeah.
All right. So I'll make sure that I share that on the 1st.
The whole March is dedicated to drops. You know what I mean? The new clothing line, the limited edition Exit Hell brand hoodies. We're about to release those. I'm walking York and a fighter out in Foxwoods tomorrow night. I'll be wearing one of the new sweaters that we got, the Exit Hell limited edition Never Go Back hoodies. Those are coming out.
I have to do some exchanging.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean? Working with you know, Sir Paul Cottrell, man, on this book, Exit Hell, Never Go Back. And yeah, there's some things coming up that there's a lot of stuff coming up, man. So it's not like I used to be that person. Like everything got to come out on the first when the project comes out. No, I have a project and I put a lot of money into this thing and I'm pushing this all year. But right now, March, everything is just pushing the same thing, but just in different ways. You know what I mean? Finding different creative ways to push the same objective. So that's what I'm doing.
One thing that we'll wrap up with this, and we're going to play a track. Exit believes that Facebook ain't going to do what it used to do to me. I'm traumatized. Back in the day when I used to play tracks, I'd be up there, numbers be up, and we'd be in there gigging, and Facebook would be like, the numbers would just go to zero. I'm sitting, they wouldn't fall. They would just cut me off. March 1st, make sure I'll put on the website. I'll put on all my socials, website information, and also support the brand. Where's your next performance locally?
There's nothing locally scheduled at the moment.
It really isn't. What are you doing on the 15th?
I don't know. Hit the team. I gotta look at the calendar
and hit the team. I'm getting better at that. That's one thing I love about.
I gotta look at the calendar.
Okay,
it depends on the day, the time.
It's a Friday night.
And all that's a good day. You know. Yeah, but we'll talk about it.
Exactly. Once we get off of here. But listen, hopefully, folks, show some love in the comments. Because I know he might go back and look. Show some love in the comments and appreciate this brother. I got a whole mother's board.
Yeah.
There's about 12 senior women that they pray.
Yeah, well, pray for me, man.
Add him to the prayer list.
Anybody, man, to help this situation, the donations. We doing a lot of stuff. Father and nurturing program. We got a lot of things.
You got Cash App? I've been known to put
fame, you know.
I can't type tonight because it's going to probably hold on. You can't see it. So I think something may have happened. What do you mean you can't see it? It's gone. I wondered what.
That's there.
Oh, crap. Okay. All right. So
there's there.
All right. We had a technical difficulty at the end, but we're about to list. Oh, you said you was going to mention something here. Drop here. That
for the praying mothers, man, praying for this really good opportunity job, man, where it would allow me to be in spaces in the courtrooms, working with brothers downstairs in the lockup that are dealing with drug addiction, and working in the emergency rooms, that people that overdose, that survive, that are dealing with drug addiction. Yeah, man, I gotta put on better clothes and walking into what I feel like that'd be my God-given purpose. So I'm hoping that job comes through. You know, it will come to. I'll speak it into existence.
Listen, you better come on. A good brother in here, brother Rusty Pendleton.
Hey, Rusty.
Kill me. Said very proud of you. You did a collaboration with
Attican's on Exit Hell. Attican Rose, his artist. Yep, she's on there.
And Rusty makes an investment in someone, that's major.
Yeah.
And he's been going hard for her.
Yeah, Rusty is definitely a part of Exit Hell. He was there.
I'm looking forward to this and listen to some stuff that's not out yet. All right, I got it. I've been trying to be first. All right, we're going to listen to this track. It is called "Go Through."
Go Through. Yeah, this is more of a life song. This is my favorite song on there. Featuring Amandi, but yeah.
The brother. Okay, now
Amandi Music. He's on there.
Do me a favor. Well, I'll turn the mics down, but see if make sure it's going to play. Because I had to switch the setup. Miz, don't laugh at me.
Yeah, it's like, man, I done seen it all, been through it all. Change forever, man. Yeah.
Dear Lord, do you hear my cry? I don't know if I'ma make it out. What I'm going through. Trying to get it out the mud, but the streets keep calling me back. Just a real nigga grinding all on my own. I'm going sick inside. What I'm going through. But the streets keep calling me back.
They love me for my losses, but they hate me winning. Karma's God's courtroom, so I'm afraid of sinning. Wish I knew what I knew now in the beginning. Talking cheap results in actions, explain your vision. When the motivation's low, you gotta stay consistent. When the accolades get slow, you gotta stay committed. Started thanking God instead of making wishes. I got sober, started listening, it made a difference. Ain't gon' front, chasing dreams, dog, is aggravating. You get more different disappointments and celebration. When you work a 9 to 5, you got limitations. A probation, give you time out for violations. 17 years of my life spent incarcerated. The devil steals, might get your soul confiscated. I got refunded, now I'm dream hunting. I give it all I got, they treat it like it means nothing.
Dear Lord, do you hear my cry? I don't know if I'ma make it out. What I'm going through, trying to get it out the mud, but the streets keep calling me back. Just a real nigga grinding all on my own. I'm homesick inside of what I'm going through, but the streets keep calling me back, keep calling me back.
In the city where they hate you just because it's you, but they'll support a stranger doing the same thing you do. Through the false narratives, gotta remain true. They would have folded if they went through what I've been through. In real life, there's no lights, it's just bills due. Remember Tito on the plane bringing pills through. No Fetty, oxycodone had real blues. Now on pills, they overdose till they turn blue. Damn, remember 90 days in the hole. Toilet paper on my feet cause my cell was cold. Never thought I'd make it here and have a 4-year-old daughter in college and my best friend, my 9-year-old. Yeah, I wanna get him what I never had. Think of Gotti, think of Dane, and think of my dad. Kamal and Terry, Derek Bonds, and how they went out bad. Fish and chicken doing life, damn, this life is sad.
Dear Lord, do you hear my cry? I don't know if I'ma make it out. What I'm going through, trying to get it out the mud, but the streets keep calling me back. Just a real nigga grinding all on my own. I'm homesick inside of what I'm going through, but the streets keep calling me back, keep calling me back. Do you hear my cry?
Say God put the dream inside your heart for a reason. The devil's here to take that away. Through all the distractions, the noise of the world, prayer makes it quiet. That's how I get through. We good, Drew.
All right, everybody, you heard it here first on Java with Jimmy After Dark. For those of you that are listening on other platforms, Facebook cut us off even before we played the music. So we're going to delete this. If you go back or you're just tuning on and try to find it, we're going to delete it and upload it again tomorrow, just so you can get the full interview. So, brother, I appreciate you, man. This, we definitely got to have you back. I want to bring you back on some topics too. We're getting ready to do couple of more after darks rather, like round tables. So that's it for us this evening, and we'll see y'all when I'm back. We'll see you all on Monday at 9 a.m. But make sure on March 1st you go support this brother. We'll put the links and everything up. And did I miss anything? Any last words?
Yeah, man. Any Exit Hell, March 1st, it's coming out. There's stuff out there right now. The merchandise is coming through, and yeah, that's all contributions, donations, anything, man, helps.
You got a donation button on your website?
Yeah, it's on there. Yeah.
So go check that out, y'all. We're out of here, and I'll see y'all Monday at 9 a.m. Peace.
That was good.